Good afternoon, everybody, and hope you're all enjoying the day. I think I'm in one of the last anyway, so hopefully the best to last. So just briefly introduce myself. My name is Jonathan Reinhardt. I work for NTI Diatech. Some of you may be familiar with us. So just to briefly introduce who we are, we're digital transformation experts across AEC, architecture, engineering, construction, Autodesk Platinum Partner, and we provide consultancy services to support adopting, implementing and managing digital technologies and supporting with digital transformation and BIM consultancy as well. So that's just a little pitch about us. So AI, so I suppose we've seen a depth today, complexity and application of AI across the industry being used extensively and extremely comprehensive. I'm going to pick the low-hanging fruit and I'm going to skim across the top of automation, AI and machine learning. And I'm going to talk about some of the workflows that we see some of our customers and Autodesk customers using in the industry as well. And I think it's important to see what we've seen here today. Is extremely huge amount of knowledge in this room and at this event today. So I think that's fantastic to see, and where that brings the industry in the next 12 months, I think can be quite exciting. So AI is defined as the theory and development of computer systems able to perform tasks that normally require human intelligence and in some cases surpass it. So today when I speak about automation, ML, machine learning, artificial intelligence, it all falls into that. So I'm going to talk about some of the software that we work with and we implement. So this video actually wouldn't work on the conference laptop, but effectively what this will show. Enscape is the tool that sits inside Revit. It's a virtual reality or visualization tool. Sits inside Revit and allows you to produce fantastic looking visualization models. So what Enscape have done is they've integrated an AI enhancer. So if any of you are Enscape users, maybe from the architectural perspective, you'll notice a new little tool on top of your Enscape window inside Revit. Effectively what that allows you to do is it enhances the image that you're actually rendering. So the video won't play, but I'll talk over it anyway. So what it will do is actually bring additional realism to people's faces. So if you're familiar with Enscape, one of my kind of pet peeves with it is people, they look too CGI looking in it, and it just makes the image look unrealistic. The AI enhancer completely changes that, so it brings that complete human look to visualizations and architectural type of renderings as well. It will do it for things like grass and vegetation and other type of entourage in the image. So that's just a little additional tool that sits within the Enscape plugin inside Revit. So I'll skip ahead with that video. So then to look at some of the other integrations, particularly from an automation perspective, but also some AI integration in there as well. So looking at some other Autodesk tools, so AutoCAD, Revit, Civil 3D, you may have noticed in the last 12 months or so that they've integrated feedback. I get this email to me, I think it's on a weekly basis. They kind of tell you what tools you've used or what parts of pieces of software you've used inside Revit, inside AutoCAD, whatever your particular Autodesk tool is. So this is something called Autodesk My Insights, and it works across those three main Autodesk tools. So effectively what it does is allow you to receive actionable recommendations for whether you're an architect or a designer to recommend what tools you might be able to use in addition to ones that you've used that week as well. And when I mean tools, I mean actual functionality inside the software. So it will identify different pieces of software that you've used. It uses machine learning and AI then to provide those recommendations at the end of your week or inside your Autodesk panel as well. So that's built into the software already. You'll see it appear as something like this if you're logging into, in this case for AutoCAD, for example. It gives you some recommendations about new tools. So that's already in the product, in the tool already as well, and that's using machine learning and AI as well. Another one then is Autodesk Info Drainage. So Autodesk Info Drainage uses machine learning in its Deluge tool. So this enables then designers to predict flood maps quickly and accurately when applying water on the site surface, all while leveraging the built-in AI inside the info drainage as well. So that takes machine learning algorithms. These have been trained on more than 10,000 traditional simulations, and this will identify patterns between the ground model and resultant flood map then, and then present that user with a flood map showing hotspots as well. So you'll see a little demonstration of this. So what you have in the corner there is a dry pond, and then the interactive deluge being moved to identify the different flow of water from that. You'll see that now when the dry pond gets moved. So that gets moved, and then you'll see the analysis still happens on the calculation, still checking on the flood path from that particular asset or that particular area of the site. So that's inside info drainage. To go into other products then, so Autodesk Build and AI, some of the integrations in that. So if you're an Autodesk Build or Autodesk Construction Cloud user, you may have seen the Photos module inside ACC or Autodesk Construction Cloud. So this uses the photo tags and AI then to automatically add tags to metadata. So what actually happens is when you upload your photographs, so if you're working on an iPad on site, you're performing inspections or commissioning checklists, you're executing a form on the iPad, typing in whatever information you need, and then you add some photographs to that form. So adding the photographs to that form then, what you'll notice is at the end, I'll just go to the end of the form, I'm going to add in some photographs from my iPad. Just going to add them as references. So filling out the form is standard enough stuff in ACC, nothing fancy there. So just add in the images and then sign my form, send it in, again, whether that's commissioning, inspection, whether it's quality or safety or construction related form. And then now my photos are now available in ACC. That's fantastic. Photographs go into one location. So on my iPad then I can access those photographs or go back into my web browser. But what actually has been added to those photographs automatically as soon as I took them, it takes a couple of minutes, it identifies items inside that photograph. So all of those tags that you see on the right hand side, they're all automatically identified from the photograph through AI. It recognises that's an opening and a window, fairly low quality image. You can see that's MEP systems, that's steel structure, ductwork, etc. So these are all the photographs taken on site via an iPad device, and then the AI recognises or identifies different parts or different elements inside those images. What that means then, great, it adds tags, but I suppose what's the benefit of that? It means then that you can actually search by those tags and search for particular items. You may be on a complex project, photographs build up to thousands or tens of thousands easily on any construction project. So then I can search by those tags, those auto-generated tags as well, and I can filter that on or off as well. So there it will find me those images, particularly for baseboard finish.
Or my skirting board, as I prefer to call it. So that's Autodesk Build and the photo tags, which is AI. Autodesk Build, then Construction IQ. This has been around for a couple of years. I think it may have been mentioned possibly by BAM this morning, I can't remember. I've certainly seen BAM talk about this previously and about the benefits of this. So Construction IQ has been around a while. This is a machine learning dashboard inside Autodesk Construction Cloud. So on the right hand side, you may notice those, they're known as partner cards. You'll see them on your Insights tab inside your ACC, and this identifies based on terminology and words and commentary throughout quality issues, different text-based information across your ACC platform at construction stage on a project, and it will identify then construction risks on those. So we found 12 high risk issues, we found 19 water risk issues. So anything in red, address immediately. Anything in orange, make sure you get to it. Anything in green, you're doing okay. So that's all out of the box then, ACC, machine learning. And then on the left, you can also then output that data into a Power BI dashboard. That's a pre-made Power BI dashboard that you will have access to if you have ACC in your Insights tab in the Power BI section of the data connector. Sorry, yeah, that uses the data connector, I should say, just if you're not familiar with that. It's in your Insights panel inside your ACC or Autodesk Construction Cloud account. So that uses machine learning. Autodesk Takeoff then. So again, Autodesk Takeoff, automated symbol detection. So what this, again, sits inside ACC. very rudimentary in my opinion. All it's doing is scanning for symbols in drawings. But if we scan a symbol in a drawing inside ACC, the drawing sits inside ACC. Video should play. So I'm inside my Autodesk Construction Cloud here. I've got a 2D drawing. I've got a series of symbols on the drawing. That could be a light fitting. It could be anything in the ceiling. It could be a pop-up, for example. I need to quantify all of those in the 2D drawing. So this is a PDF drawing. You know, obviously you could have thousands of drawings. I just circled the symbol there, and I said, I want you to find all those symbols. So it automatically finds all those symbols, then allows me to quantify all those symbols. So again, it's scanning the documentation, and then I'm able to quantify all of those. So it found whatever number of items is in that. It'll come up in a minute. And then I can apply a cost or a rate to all of those items effectively. Say, you know, each light or each pop-up or whatever the case is costing us 250 quid or whatever a rate is. So there I found 72 items across that drawing, and then my detailed takeoff, I'll see that on the left. So that's the output of it, of just the symbol detection effectively. And then I can see each of those individual items there. If I then change the cost, so all those 72 items are costing me 18k. So if I change my rate, costs go up for whatever reason, we all see it. Costs go up, I change that rate to 270, there we go. It changes to 19,400. So that's just based on the symbol detection occurring in the first place. Then the output of how I work with that data is improved as a result through the process. So that's just inside ACC or Autodesk Construction Cloud. So then Autodesk Forma and AI. So some of you may have seen this. So this, you know, some of this is generative AI as well. Generative AI. So again, Autodesk Forma is about mass or volume, volumetric generation of geometry at an early design stage, particularly aimed for architects and housing developers as well, looking at large sites. So I'm just going to zoom in on a site here, always on the north side. Tag in my boundary, so I'm just going into Forma, so very standard stuff. Identifying my boundary, there I am down Dublin Docks. So it's just going to process that. So then I pause the video for a minute. And then I can use the Explore tool. So what I can now do is using the generative design tool after defining my boundary, is I can set what I want that site to be populated with. And what I mean that by a mix of buildings, roads, tree setouts, or tree distances, building setouts, or building distances as well as the density. So I'm just defining the boundary, just bear with me. So I'm going to the top right, up to my Explore tool. I'm going to select the site. So what you'll see, I'm just making sure all my building options are turned on. And down at the bottom of the screen, what you're seeing in real time is you're seeing different options being generated for that. So roughly there, we're seeing 24 options being generated in a matter of seconds. So I'm seeing the roads layout is defined in those parameters on the right-hand side. So I can say it's a 12 meter building to building distance. I can say the depth of my building block. I can choose my slightly more interesting building blocks rather than your grid system. And I can cycle through those different design options and change the parameters on the right-hand side. So the parameters on the right-hand side, again, can even be things like tree distance or tree density, or different type of building height parameters as well, based in there. So then I can immediately see, by cycling through my options, I can immediately see my gross floor area of a development in a matter of seconds. All you need is your site address and your site boundary, really, to generate that. You could also pull in a surveyor's site boundary from a CAD file as well. So then I can alter some of those options. Changing the building height, for example, changing the tree density, the distance from tree to tree as well. So I think it's good to certainly add in as many trees as you can into a site. We probably don't see enough of it. So the more we can do that at early stage certainly enhances the overall design and ideally the outcome. So then again, the outcome of that generative design process is I get all of my floor schedules, all of my counts, all of my unit counts across my entire site as well. How many apartments, how many student res, how many houses can I actually fit onto that site as well. So again, options, as I change the parameters on the right-hand side, the 24 options at the bottom of the screen update as well, so I can cycle through those again. And the 24 options are fitting in those parameters on the right-hand side. So let's say I like that as option A. Property developer goes, well, I want to see in option B, and then just all I'm doing is just showing some, I suppose, further efficiencies inside Autodesk Forma here, just outlining a floor plan, for example, that I can work on then as part of that model generation of all that volume, or all those masses are generated. I can now apply a floor plan across those as well. So using the floor plan tool inside of Autodesk Forma. So just let that play for a minute. So then I can replicate that floor plan across all my buildings as well, and then I can generate additional design options in an option B effectively, and give those, I suppose, those counts, those numbers, what can we fit onto that site effectively as part of that generation. So that's auto-generated site layout using Autodesk Forma. Then some other, I suppose, automation, noise analysis then uses Autodesk AI as well then to assess the site's noise conditions from rail and road then, and that can again inform your early design decisions on noise reduction as well. And that can be based on that auto generation of the massing on that particular site as well. Same for wind analysis as well, exact same type of functionality from a wind perspective as well, and you can see that animation occurring there. Okay, so that's, I suppose, that's kind of in product, stuff that you have access to if you're one of those software users in Forma, in Revit, in Enscape, in ACC. You can go into work tomorrow and start using that stuff if you haven't seen it already. So that's in product, available now, and I think someone mentioned earlier that it's about AI is, it's not just about replacing jobs or replacing roles or replacing tasks. It's actually about being assistive in those small parts of a business, of an organization, of a workflow, and I hope that's what's come across. So just to finish off then, some other ACC integrations that I've seen with ChatGPT, and some of you may follow this guy. I certainly can't take credit for it. This guy on LinkedIn, so Anthony Sertorio from Autodesk. I asked him kindly for his permission. Could I use some of these workflows in my presentation? And he kindly said yes. So what he's doing here is using Slack. He's pasting in email data, so he's copy and pasting email data, and what that's going to extract via Slack, it's going to send it to OpenAI via ACC Connect, so it's going to connect via the API integrations, and it's going to, from that pasted email, it's generated issues inside ACC. So if you're not familiar with ACC, an issue is a task or an action that I can assign against someone. It can be an RFI, it can be a snag, it can be a quality issue or a safety issue. So by pasting into Slack, it automatically generated those inside of the issues panel inside ACC. If any of your ACC users, you'll be familiar with that screen. So that's one workflow. Another workflow then that Anthony has also put together is uploading docs to ChatGPT. So what he's done in this case is he's actually taken a PDF. So a PDF could be a printout of an email or a PDF of an email. He's uploaded that into ChatGPT, and it's going to create issues again. So it's going to do a similar output, but he's using a different tool this time. So it's going to create issues, connect to the Autodesk API, generating the issues. And then again, you'll see a similar output as well. So what we're seeing here is not just one tool that can do the same thing. There's lots of them. And there's no doubt that this is how we're going to work with AI, is by using this mix and this hybrid method of working with different tools. So again, an issue has been generated by uploading those documents. Third one here, so this is again ChatGPT. So what he's doing here is scanning an image using ChatGPT. He's going to extract the data, and again, it's going to extract the data and it's going to send it into ACC, into Autodesk Construction Cloud. It will generate a form and it will populate the information on that form as well. So there's all the information from the scanned image, automatically populated into all those fields. And now available inside ACC. So that, just one thing that he did mention was that that was built on Excel and SharePoint, the source of that data, but it could also be built on something what he's pointed out as olama.com as well, lightweight extensible framework as well. So the last one I'm going to show then is using Copilot. So what he's done here is he's asked Copilot, this is built in Excel and SharePoint, apologies. He's going to query Copilot about a set of documents about RFIs on a construction project. So it's going to ask in this Excel document related to concrete and related to an RFI request inside the project. So Copilot pulls all them up, find all the items and ACC issues that are then related to that RFI. That's going to find relationships between that data. And then what he's actually going to ask is he's going to ask it to actually query that data in relation to the specification of the concrete on that actual information. Thank you very much.